Just days after Gene Hackman's death, an anonymous email quietly arrived in the FBI's inbox. Its message contained only a set of coordinates and a terse warning about a hidden truth. At first, the Bureau dismissed it as yet another conspiracy theory, one of countless tips that had flooded in following the actor's passing. Yet the more they looked into the coordinates, located in the remote wilds of New Mexico, the more evidence pointed to something genuinely unsettling. Satellite images showed a dilapidated farmhouse on parched land, miles from the nearest paved road. Local county records, meanwhile, contain almost no references to any habitable structure there, let alone an owner. The deeper the FBI dug, the stranger things became. The property was allegedly purchased in 2005 by a shell company with ties that trace back, in labyrinthine fashion, to bank accounts connected with Hackman. Within 24 hours of receiving the email, a specially selected team of agents prepared to investigate. They landed in a helicopter at dawn, the sky just turning a pale gray over that lifeless desert expanse. What they found once they pried open the farmhouse door and later descended beneath its rotted floors would rattle even the most hardened investigators. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe to Prestige Stories so you don't miss the next incredible turn in this story. Beneath the house's battered roof and decomposing walls, a dusty corridor led to a steel trapdoor hidden so skillfully under old furniture that it seemed almost invisible. It took the agents nearly an hour of probing, using ground-penetrating radar and specialized tools, to confirm that an underground structure lay beneath the surface. The trapdoor itself was encased in a thick shell of reinforced concrete, reminiscent of military installations designed to withstand significant force. Inside, the smell of stale air and ancient machinery welcomed the agents, a striking contrast of scorching sunlight and dry wind outside. They found themselves at the top of a carefully crafted staircase, which spiraled downward into pitch-black darkness. At the bottom rested a door of solid metal, nearly 20 centimeters thick. The advanced locking mechanism on that door was akin to security systems used in nuclear bunkers or clandestine government labs. Breaking it open required top-grade explosives and specialized gear, a feat the team had prepared for only because of the anonymous tip's urgency. With each layer they peeled back, it became clear that Gene Hackman, or someone working on his behalf, had gone extraordinary lengths to hide something immeasurably important. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Prestige Stories. There's far more here than a mere secret bunker. When the FBI finally managed to breach the door, they stepped into a vast, subterranean complex that looked like a time capsule left behind by an anxious genius. Fluorescent lights blinked and buzzed on, powered by a generator that still functioned despite years of neglect. Rows of filing cabinets lined the walls, next to shelves loaded with dusty boxes labeled in Hackman's handwriting. A tangle of wires crisscrossed the ceiling, feeding into cameras mounted in every corner, none of them connected to any visible external network. At the heart of this bunker was a large, soundproof chamber whose thick, padded walls let in no echo of the outside world. It was inside this room that agents stumbled upon a bizarre shrine, a wax statue of Harry Call, Hackman's character from The Conversation. The statue was unsettlingly lifelike, clad in the same sort of trench coat worn in the film, eyes fixed in a perpetual state of paranoid vigilance. An array of VHS tapes sprawled across several tables, some meticulously labeled in neat handwriting, confession, unseen cuts, private, do not view, while others bore cryptic symbols or single letters. Next to the tape sat locked metal cases and sealed envelopes covered in warnings about sensitive financial documents. The more the team uncovered, the more they grasped the scale of Hackman's hidden world. Did he build this place to protect himself, to store damning evidence, or to reveal Hollywood's darkest secrets once he was gone? Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to Prestige Stories as we piece together these alarming clues. Before long, fragments of the bunker's contents leaked to the outside world, igniting a media firestorm. In the weeks following the discovery, rumors circulated on film forums and social media about the shocking confession tapes, which allegedly featured world-famous actors candidly discussing cover-ups, blackmail scenarios, and abuse within the industry. One brief clip that found its way online involved an Oscar-winning star referencing a scandal from the late 1990s, an infamous event that had been publicly dismissed as mere rumor, but which, according to Conversation, had been carefully orchestrated by certain powerful players in Hollywood to save reputations and hush victims. Another set of tapes, labeled Unseen Cuts, offered glimpses into raw, unedited footage from filming sessions of classic movies like The Godfather, The Conversation, Eyes Wide Shut, and various undisclosed Hackman projects. The disturbing revelations range from actors being coerced into scenes they had initially refused to do, to private on-set meltdowns that suggested the presence of psychological or even physical intimidation. All these leaks were mere scraps of colossal trove that apparently occupied entire shelves of the bunker. The creepiest snippet, though, was from a VHS labeled Private Do Not View. That few-second clip, uploaded by an unknown source, showed a group of masked figures standing in a circle, clad in dark robes. They danced in silence around a single candle, their white masks painted to look like stylized versions of Hollywood's greatest faces, from Marlon Brando to Marilyn Monroe. Was it an avant-garde performance piece or tangible proof of a clandestine ritual among Tinseltown's elite? The conversation around it has only grown more frantic. Don't miss the next bombshell. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe to Prestige Stories to keep informed. Of course, these revelations force the world to revisit Hackman's filmography with new eyes. In roles like Jimmy Popeye Doyle, The French Connection, and Harry Call, The Conversation, Hackman portrayed characters swimming in moral ambiguity, people burdened by an awareness that the systems they served were riddled with corruption. In Mississippi Burning, he took on the role of an FBI agent torn between duty and the horrifying injustices he witnessed. Then there was Little Bill Daggett in Unforgiven, a sheriff enforcing law, but also perpetuating violence and moral compromise. For years, critics praised Hackman for his uncanny ability to portray tension between societal duty and personal conscience, never suspecting that the source of his relentless authenticity might be a first-hand familiarity with hidden darkness. When Hackman walked away from Hollywood in 2004, fans and industry insiders alike were left puzzled. He'd never hinted at creative burnout or a lack of roles. Was it possible that he had reached a tipping point in what he'd seen, something he felt so strongly about that he removed himself entirely from public view? Did knowledge of these hush-money deals and clandestine power structures simply become too heavy a burden? Adding to these suspicions, he bought the farm in 2005 in near-total secrecy, staying under the public radar and refusing interviews for almost 2 decades. Many now believe that the bunker was Hackman's long-term insurance policy, a vault of evidence he could use if the powers that be turned on him. Or perhaps it was a time bomb he intended to detonate if the darkness in Hollywood grew unbearable. Has that final fuse already been lit, or is there another spark coming our way? Like, comment, and subscribe to Prestige Stories. This story's revelations may be only the tip of an iceberg. As news of the FBI's raid spread, Hollywood responded with an astonishing hush. This was a town well-versed in damage control, with entire networks in place to smother scandal before it ever reached the public. But even by those standards, the silence was suffocating. A-listers who'd once called Hackman a mentor or friend refused to speak to reporters. Directors who work alongside him on award-winning productions abruptly canceled interviews or fled the country, citing vague personal matters. Social media accounts featuring historical photos of Hackman were quietly scrubbed or deleted. Rumors emerged of hurried crisis meetings behind the gated walls of Bel Air and Beverly Hills. One high-profile actress, known to have collaborated with Hackman on multiple films, was spotted leaving Los Angeles with minimal luggage and boarding a private jet to Europe. She has since been unreachable, fueling speculation that she, too, wanted no part in what might surface. Meanwhile, the FBI carried on with a mix of secrecy and determination. Some rumored it identified major producers and studio executives linked to suspicious financial ledgers recovered in the bunker, papers marked with ledger lines, cryptic codes, and giant sums of untraceable money. Certain canceled projects from years past appear connected to these hush fund transactions, raising the question, what had those productions stumbled upon or threatened to reveal? The tension is so palpable that industry insiders whisper that if the FBI ever discloses the entirety of the farmhouse's archive, it could dismantle the reputations of dozens of Hollywood icons and spark a crisis bigger than any in cinema's history. Don't forget, like, comment, and subscribe to Prestige Stories. We're committed to investigating each new thread. The final puzzle piece was a handwritten note, discovered tucked behind the wax statue of Harry Call. In slanted script that an FBI forensic analyst matched to Hackman's known handwriting, it read, "When the truth is wrapped in glory, only death can unmask it." Was it a farewell message, a cryptic confession, or a foreboding prophecy? In that single line, Hackman seemed to admit that the outward glitz, both of Hollywood and perhaps his own storied career, effectively cloaks horrors the public can't begin to imagine. Equally ambiguous was whether he wrote in anger, despair, or a sense of grim duty. Did he intend for the FBI to find it, or was it something private he never expected anyone else to see? In the end, we are left to wonder if Hackman was a morally conflicted hero trying to blow the whistle on a corrupt system, or if he was simply another cog in that machine, storing dangerous secrets as leverage. Could he have walked away cleanly, or was the fear of retribution so strong that he had to seal himself off a fortress? Perhaps even Hackman didn't truly know where he stood. Yet, one thing is undeniable. The trove he left behind has laid bare a side of Hollywood that many suspected but never had proof of: dark rituals, calculated cover-ups, the ruthless manipulation of people's lives and careers to protect profits and reputations. Ultimately, his note might be an admission that such a system could be dismantled only by stepping outside it, through the release of information, or perhaps through death itself. The final reckoning now depends on whether the FBI chooses to release or conceal the complete truth hidden in that underground vault, and whether Hollywood's most powerful figures succeed in wrapping it in yet another layer of half-truths and denials. For now, the world holds its breath, waiting to see how this saga concludes. If you have your own theories, or there's any part of the story you find particularly chilling, share it in the comments. And, as always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Prestige Stories. We'll keep you updated on every new detail that comes to light, no matter how dark it may be.